Hello boys and girls, this is Professor Nelson from Electronics speaking. On this occasion I am going to teach you how to make a personalized engraving on metal surfaces. In case you do not have a laser machine or a CNC machine, which are used to make engravings on metals. On this occasion, what we will do is use more familiar media for electronics, such as a sheet of photographic paper, on which you will have to print the design that you want to engrave on your knife. This is a sheet of photographic paper printed on a laser printer. Then we will need a 12-volt voltage adapter. It can be variable or fixed, 1 amp or 2.5 amps. Finally, we will need an iron. An iron like this one, a common iron to be able to transfer the design to our knife. Those would be the materials. And without further ado, we will begin with the video. Guys, one very important thing. When you have your sheet with a message, that word will have to be turned like this example. Here you can see that the message is written correctly. But when you move on to engraving, this will come out backwards. Therefore, you will have to turn the message over so that it is correctly engraved on the knife. So without further ado, let's move on to the next steps. The first thing is to remove the grease stains from our fingers that were left on the metal surface. For this, they're going to use a little alcohol and clean it. Ready? There are no fingerprints now. We are going to move on to ironing our sheet. We are going to place this there. And we are going to place something under the knife. Center your sheet. And start from one edge. Put the iron on at maximum temperature. And with a little pressure, start ironing. Ready? There you can see that the sheet is already stuck. Now you have to let it cool. Once it cools, remove the paper. Very good. Now that it is cold, remove our paper from a corner. There you can see how it turned out. It turned out very well. Now if in case there is a piece missing, then use the marker to be able to go over the missing parts. Look at the sheet, and if there is something left on the sheet, then you have to go over that part. Since it turned out very well, we will move on to the next step before starting to engrave our design. Well, guys, before preparing our knife, look how beautiful the design turned out. Everything went perfectly. Now, With the marker, we are going to enlarge the entire edge as thickly as possible, so that the engraving does not go to areas that we do not want. So with the marker, we are going to repaint the entire edge or contour of our design. Okay, it's finished. Remember that this is a permanent marker. You have to paint a fairly wide or thick border so that the engraving doesn't go to the areas we don't want. Well, once this is done and some points have been reviewed, we are going to start with the engraving. However, for this project, we are going to use a little water and a little salt. Salt is very important. If you don't put salt, it won't work. Ready now, we move on to engraving our knife. Okay guys, to start with the engraving, we are going to place the positive at one end. And to the negative, we are going to place a piece of cotton. This we are going to submerge in our water and salt mixture. And we are going to start touching the surface where we want the engraving to be. Keep in mind that you can use 5 volts, 9 volts, or 12 volts. That depends on your power adapter. So we start by applying a little brine. You don't need to move from one side to the other. Just place the cotton on the knife. Touch it in the same way over the entire surface of the knife. If it gets too hot, lower it to 9 or 5 volts. You'll have to keep it like that for a few minutes. It can take approximately 5 or 10 minutes. Very well. Once we have finished, we are going to wash it. We are going to remove all this with a little detergent and a sponge to wash dishes. Well, guys, this is how our engraving will look. Look at the result. Look at the integrated circuit. It looks very good. The LED diode. The name of the channel is beautiful. And see that they have a high relief. There you can see the relief as if they had put it in acid. The finish is beautiful. Look, even these small details can be seen there. Well, guys, this way you can do the engraving in a professional way, with a very beautiful finish without having to use very expensive machines, like laser machines or CNC machines. Using common electronic means, you can have this type of finish. Now, if you like the video, don't forget that a like helps the channel a lot. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.